we all know that the Cybertruck, like each new Tesla vehicle before it, will excite the fans and some of the investors, and it will see some really good stock action as it goes through these following stages. So first there'll be the handover announcement. That'll get some interest going in the stock. Number two will be the handover actual day with the specs, the prices, and the promo information. That will be the big day, probably, in terms of getting the stock really rolling. Number three, then the customers will take their first shipments, and you'll have immediate videos and individual reviews from these people who take these first shipments. And that will probably give you another little jolt in the market. And then fourth, you'll have third-party reviews, including Sandy Monroe. And I'm thinking that these could be out of this world and could really generate a lot of enthusiasm among consumers as well as among the investor class. And then finally, you'll have the recognition, this is it, that it's a fine work truck. Once you've got some people talking about it as a great work truck, then everything changes and you should see another jolt. Anyway, all of this is going to happen. The stock will be rising as it did with the Model Y, but this is where everything changes. This is going to be a very different vehicle, and these are going to be my 10 reasons or the 10 ways that this will be like no other product announcement, except maybe the first Apple iPhone, maybe the Mac, I don't know, maybe bigger than either one. Let's get into it. This is Randy Kirk. If you think this is going to be likable, hit like now. If you want to wait and see if it's likable, hit like later. And then you could also hit subscribe and notify. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, that would be just lovely because it will help the algorithm. And then if you join Patreon, you can get a free audiobook. There's all 4 books. Those are 4 of my, I think it's 13 books now that I've written about, most of them about small business. And those 4 are the ones that are actively selling right now on Amazon. So you can go buy them on Amazon, or you can get them for free by joining Patreon. All right, and those are the audiobooks you get for free, not the others. All right, let's go on. Let's take a look here. Number 1. First of all, the Cybertruck will cement the innovation idea in the minds of consumer and investors forever. Of course, Tesla is already seen as a tremendously innovative company, and Elon Musk is seen as the entrepreneur, for all time. But you know what? That only goes so deep into the psyche of the public and even of the investors. Some people still think, oh, he's not even a great engineer, or they think, oh, Tesla's just another car company. No, the Tesla Cybertruck, this Cybertruck is going to completely change everything that people think about when it comes to a truck, in terms of the way it looks, in terms of the way it acts, in terms of the way, just everything about it. As you already know this, but the average consumer out there isn't aware yet. Look at the video that was out the other day where the highway patrolman or the police officer or whatever is passing one of the trucks that was carrying a car carrier carrying Tesla Cybertrucks, and he was like, look at that truck, man, that's really weird. No, the public doesn't know about it yet. This will be something that changes Tesla into the innovator by far of this period, this decade, maybe the century. All right, and that's going to be important in terms of consumers and investors investing. All right, number 2, it will be the most amazing traveling billboard ever. We've already talked about this. Lots of people have talked about it. I'm not any unique in bringing it up, but consumers and investors will be rubbernecking every time they see one. It's not going to be just the first time they see one. No, every time one of these comes down the road, people will be looking. They'll be telling everybody in the car to look. They'll be looking around to see who's looking. I mean, it's just going to be a rubberneck convention like nothing that's ever been seen. And this is going to be important because it's causing that continuous impression. And we want the investing public as well as the consumers to get that. Number 3, it will be a publicity bonanza on a completely different level, maybe than any other product by Elon Musk or Tesla ever, maybe on a level that is really hard to compare. Maybe the iPhone, which became so completely integrated into everybody's lives. And this won't be. This will only be maybe 25% of the public that'll be interested in ever as something they might buy. But consumers and investors will see article after article and picture after picture. I've made the claim it will be the most photographed object ever. Maybe that's a stretch. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But it will definitely be there. You will be seeing it on every social media. You'll be seeing it on every kind of old media. It will be taking over in terms of what people are talking about. And that will affect both consumers and investors. Okay, number 4. Every auto journalist will want to drive it and review it as quickly as they can possibly get their hands on it. They will be doing whatever they can, borrowing, begging, stealing, renting them on Turo, checking out to see if anybody in their neighborhood has one so they can go get one, because I don't think, maybe I could be wrong about this, but I don't know that the Tesla is going to hold 50 of them aside and start sending them out to reviewers. They haven't done this in the past. I don't know if they'll start now. So assuming positive reviews, Tesla takes advantage of the review culture that we're in right now. Everybody's interested in reviews. It's all over the place. This was not something that was true 35 years ago. It all started with Amazon. So the review culture is huge, and the reviews will be coming like crazy. Investors will be looking at these reviews. They will be reviewing the reviews like a hawk. Number 5, the stock will be moving ahead steadily as the specific news happens. Again, unless there's some horrible bad news about the truck, the steady drumbeat of good news will be like the Apple iPhone. The stock will be continuously going up. That alone will call attention to itself. Everybody will be talking about Tesla going up and up and up as it goes up past to 300, then past 300, and then starting to go towards all-time highs. Number 6, the publicity bonanza will drive consumers to the Tesla website, and they will keep the entire Tesla product line top of mind. Unlike commercials or even television commercials, the drumbeat will be everywhere, not just in one place. Investors will be very, very, very aware of the phenomenon, and they will be keen to decide if they should get involved, if they should get in. All right, number 7, new friends and neighbors who couldn't have cared less about your Model Y or your Model 3 will be very interested to see and ride in the Cybertruck. This will stimulate more sales of the Cybertruck and other products and generate more interest in the company for investments. This is going to be crazy. You drove home in your Model Y and one of your neighbors was interested and another neighbor couldn't care. I mean, this is going to be a different neighbor who's going to care about this one. The one who loved the Model Y is maybe not going to be interested at all in the Cybertruck, and vice versa. So it's going to be a very interesting thing to see as that plays itself out. Number 8, to add an entirely different dimension onto the amazing amount of visibility, you have the wraps. I believe that folks will wrap this vehicle like no other car ever. And it will be kind of a competition to have the most amazing, the most intriguing, the most exciting wraps. This will call even more attention to the product and to the company. I think there should be competitions to see who has the best wrap. And then this will create yet another round of rubbernecking that will be even maybe greater than the rubbernecking that's going to take place on the basic raw truck. Okay, then number 9, the specs will generate another round of articles, videos, social media pictures and comments. The speed of the car, the quickness of the car, the torque, the handling, the pulling capacity, the tool use, on and on and on, the way that you might use it in a campground. There'll be just story after story after story, and then you'll have the accessories coming on. People that are already designing accessories right now, as soon as the truck breaks, they will be starting to talk about the things that you can add to this truck. This will create even more stimulation, even more people thinking about the truck. Should I get a truck? Should I invest in the company? Both of those things will be taking place. And then number 10, the reality of the product being in production and the ability to now start to add it to the projections of the investing class, the so-called sophisticated investors. Once they can start plugging it in, seeing how many are being made, starting to hear the numbers. Okay, the numbers. How many did they make last week? How many did they make last month? How many did they make the first quarter? How many did they sell the first quarter? How many more people have added to the list of the people that are waiting in line to get one? How long is it going to be? When will the announcements be where Elon Musk says, okay, we're going to add this much more factory, we're going to make 1 million instead of 375,000, or make 700, whatever the numbers are? How about the upgrades by the professionals? They'll start upgrading the stock because they'll see what's happening. They'll upgrade the stock. That has its own momentum. All these things will just add to the momentum. So that's number 10. So if these 10, did I miss something? Would you like to add to this list? Would you like to tell me I'm all wet with regard to anything on the list or all of it? I think all of this is going to make the stock go crazy, like maybe no other product in history. And if you'd like to see more about the Cybertruck, I had an interview earlier today with Brian White, and I'm going to warn you in advance. There was a mess up with the sound. It was not Brian's fault. It was my fault. And so if you're listening to it in ear pods or you're listening to it with speakers, it's going to be a little weird because the voices are going to bounce back between one and the other. So maybe watch it on something that's mono instead of stereo. Anyway, but the stuff that we talked about is phenomenal. You know, Brian has got the extra little bit of information. He's doing the actual, journalistic reporting and going after real, news stories, stuff that we don't know about yet. So that I'll put the card right above. You want to take a look at that. And then I've got a story coming up tomorrow. Now, you still want to see me in the morning at 6:10. I love the fact that you guys are showing up for that show almost every day. But then in the middle of the day, I'm going to do a story on Elon Musk as superhero, but a superhero that's changing the world, but he's changing the world. And now it's starting to make some people a little bit afraid. Does Elon Musk have too much power? Has Elon Musk got the US government kind of by the, short hairs? What is, should we be worried about the amount of influence and power that he has because of the products that he's making that the government's not going to be able to live without militarily and with regard to CO2 reduction? So anyway, there was a big article in the New Yorker yesterday, yesterday, I believe. I read it last night. I had a chance to digest it. And tomorrow afternoon, that is what we're going to talk about, is going to be that story. I think you're going to want to see that one. So it notifies, so you'll be reminded about that. And then, of course, you want to jump up onto Patreon and support the channel, help to produce the channel. It's only $5 a month. And, I really appreciate all the people that are already doing that. And the ones who are paying $10 a month, I like you just as much and just a little more. Anyway, it's been great. This is it. I'm done. That's all for today. I'll be talking to you bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll see what happens with the stock. It's been great talking to you.